Thing. Okay, hello. So, unfortunately, like I mentioned before, I'm dealing with a sickness right now, so this has to be relatively short. I do apologize, but it just came out of nowhere. So we'll do what we can for like the next few minutes or so. I would have felt really bad if I wasn't able to stream for today. I did it just so earlier, but it's whatever I caught, it's definitely getting to me. So let's get right to it. If I remember correctly, this is canonical events. And I had my outline up earlier, so the next section is limits and weaknesses, which is pretty straightforward. Kind of already repeated it. Despite how overwhelming toxicity can appear, phenomenon and weaknesses. It has very oddly specific conditions, and if it doesn't have those conditions, it can't really exist or manifest. So, it's found. Very specific conditions, and without them, it can't. It manifests. Oh. Despite how overwhelming toxicity can appear, the phenomena has limits and weaknesses. Its existence is bound by very specific conditions, and without them, it can't exist at all. For starters, the most fundamental. Wow. The fundamental limitation is its dependence on pretty much, like I mentioned time and time again, there has to be a fear, rumor, belief. That's how it gets power. You pretty much power it up by yapping. But like I mentioned before, unfortunately, this does have to be a relatively short stream, so I'm gonna do like at least 10 minutes worth of work. I'm gonna get my ass to get back to bed. Now I'm probably not gonna go to bed, but 10 minutes worth of work. I do like a tiny little sprite animation just to say I did it, and we'll go on from there. But I have no idea what I caught. This thing is killing me right now. So, collective belief weakens. Collective belief weakens. Disperses. Disperses. Or fails. Toxicity can't take form. Can't take form. Okay. Despite how overwhelming toxicity can appear, the phenomenon has limits and weaknesses. Its existence is bound by very specific conditions, and without them, it can't manifest at all. For starters, the fundamental limitation is dependence on fear, belief, and rumor. If the collective belief weakens, disperses, or fails, Tatari can't take form. As mentioned before, Tatari requires an anchor. To be active from it. To be an active event. Figures such as Wallachia, and Dust of Osiris act as focal points. Allow to manifest in the physical world. No matter how broken it seems, it does have extreme limitation. Not extreme, it has pretty significant limitations. If you're looking cute about it's not autonomous because it needs it can act independently, like when or where it'll appear. Yeah, in a sense. In a sense. Its presence is conditional. It's conditional and pretty much shaped by circumstances. Yeah. And the other big one is the time limit because it's only a night. So its existence is bound to a fixed window. Window, most famously, just one night. So, its existence is bound to a fixed window, most infamously a single night. So, no matter how severe distortions, the phenomenon eventually collapses when the cycle ends. All right, what time is it? All right, 10 minutes. Finally. Tatari. Tatari. Tatari can't act beyond like the boundaries of what the rumor is driving it. Act more than better. Can't act. Using I'll use Nania as an example for this. Tatari Nania. Example. If the rumor describes a killer going around with a knife. Well, no, let's be cute. Talking. Knife. Then Tatari has to fulfill that role. I'm gonna do a funny take. I'm gonna do a funny one. Tatari can't contradict. Tatari can't contradict or override. It's a override the expectations placed on it. Yeah. So if there's rumor of a guy going around killing people, Tatsu's gonna fulfill that role. But if it manifests Tatsuri Nanya, then it's going around shaking people. So if you really want to be cute about it, it's a very powerful busted like thing in Tight Moon, but it's constrained. It's like it has its limits. So in this sense, oh god, it's a horse cough now. It is powerful, but constrained. It is powerful, but constrained. A phenomenon capable of bending reality. Capable of reshaping reality. There we go. I think that's good. Let's yeah, I think we covered pretty much everything. Alright. Like I said, this has to be a relatively short stream. Can't really be talking like that. I have one more stream left, which is a sprite animation, which we do for like 20 minutes. So despite how overwhelming Tatari can appear, the phenomenon has limits and weaknesses. Its existence is bound by very specific conditions, and without them it can't manifest at all. For starters, the fundamental limitation is dependent on fear, belief, and rumor. If the collective belief... Excuse me. I'm gonna cough again. If the collective belief weakens, disperses, or fails, Tatari can't take form. As mentioned, Tatari requires an anchor to be an active event. Figures such as Wallachia and the Dust of Osiris act as focal points that allow it to manifest in the physical world. In a sense, its presence is conditional, shaped by circumstances rather than intent. Another critical limitation is duration. Its existence is bound by a fixed window, most famously a single night. No matter how severe the distortions become, the phenomenon eventually collapses when the cycle ends. Finally, Tatari can't act beyond the boundaries of the rumor driving it. Using Tatari Nani as an example, if a rumor describes a killer stalking the night with a knife, then the manifestation must fill that role. That's important. Tatari can't contradict or override the expectations imposed on it. In this sense, it's powerful. It is powerful, but constrained. A phenomenon capable of reshaping reality, but has to work with imposed limitations. Okay, I think that's good. So today's Friday, so the next time we're streaming this is Sunday. So good stuff. I do apologize for the relatively short stream, but as you can tell, I'm pretty sick right now. So see you later, everybody. Have a good one.